As a leg doctor, I have spent decades watching patients walk into my clinic with the same quiet problem. They sit down across from me, smile politely, and say their legs just feel weaker than they used to. Some still walk every day, some even go to the gym, but they notice the stairs feel steeper and their balance feels less steady. I watch them move, and in my mind, I already know what is happening. Your muscles are not vanishing overnight, but they are quietly losing strength in ways you cannot feel at first. The truth is that one of the most common exercises I see people over 60 doing is slowly stealing that strength away. It looks safe, it feels familiar, and sometimes it is even taught in senior classes. Yet deep inside your body, it is speeding up muscle loss and pushing your joints toward damage you will not notice until it is too late. Today, I want to explain exactly why this happens and how you can protect your legs before the damage becomes permanent. You might believe that staying active is enough to keep your legs strong, and in many ways, movement is one of the best gifts you can give your body. But as you move past 60, the changes happening inside your muscles are not the same as when you were 40. Even if you walk daily or attend regular classes, your body's ability to maintain and rebuild muscle tissue starts to slow down. This gradual change is known as muscle loss or sarcopenia, and it is something I see in almost every patient over 60. You may not notice it at first because it does not arrive with sudden pain. Instead, you begin to feel that your legs tire faster or that your balance is slightly off when turning too quickly. You might find that standing from a low chair requires a little more effort than last year. The problem is that certain exercises you trust might actually make sarcopenia worse. That is because they isolate one part of your leg while leaving other supporting muscles inactive. Over time, this creates imbalances that force your joints to take more of the workload, which is not what they are designed to do. Once those joints begin to carry the strain, every movement from climbing stairs to carrying groceries becomes harder. When muscle loss is combined with a decline in recovery speed, the effects multiply. In your 20s, muscle fibers can recover in days, but after 60, they may take a week or more. If your exercise routine is built around movements that damage rather than rebuild, you end up losing strength instead of gaining it. And here is the most frustrating part. These exercises often look gentle, even therapeutic, so no one warns you to stop. Research from Tufts University shows that older adults who focus on compound functional exercises maintain mobility and independence far longer than those who rely on isolated machine-based moves. That means the way you train matters just as much as how often you train. It is not about pushing heavier weights or working longer hours. It is about choosing the right kind of movement that tells your body to protect and rebuild your muscles instead of breaking them down. Once you understand which exercises are helping and which are quietly harming you, you can make changes that will keep you strong for years to come. When most people hear the word squat, they picture a classic move that trainers and therapists praise for building lower body strength. In the right form, squats are one of the most effective exercises for your legs because they work your glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, and core all at once. But here is the problem. Many seniors, and even people over 60 who have been active their whole lives, are unknowingly doing a version of the squat that slowly damages their joints and accelerates muscle loss. It does not cause sharp pain at first, so you assume it is safe. The danger is that the damage builds silently over time. The mistake often starts with depth and ankle position. As your ankles lose flexibility with age, you may not be able to keep your heels flat on the ground while squatting. Instead, your knees push forward past your toes and your heels lift slightly. This small shift may feel harmless, but it forces your knees into a position that increases stress on your cartilage and ligaments. The deeper you push without the right ankle mobility, the more strain you place on your joints. Over time, this leads to stiffness, swelling, and reduced stability. Another problem is speed. Many seniors perform squats quickly thinking it makes the exercise more effective or less tiring. In reality, moving too fast removes control from the movement. You are letting momentum carry you rather than your muscles doing the work. This increases the risk of micro tears in muscle fibers and puts additional pressure on your knees and lower back. The combination of poor ankle mobility, forward knee travel, and excessive speed creates a recipe for gradual breakdown in both muscle and joint health. Form is not the only factor. The type of squat matters. Some people adopt narrow stances or try to go ass to grass because they have seen younger people do it at the gym. Without the joint stability and muscle balance of a younger body, this style can be punishing. A narrow stance increases the risk of your knees caving inward, which strains ligaments. Extremely deep squats without proper preparation overload the hips and lower spine. These positions may look impressive, but they are not designed for aging joints. I have seen countless patients who believe they were strengthening their legs with these squats only to end up with reduced mobility and worsening sarcopenia. The sad truth is that a squat should build your strength, but in the wrong form, it can quietly destroy it. If you notice that your knees ache after squatting or you feel less steady afterward, your body is already warning you. Listening to that signal and adjusting your approach now will protect you from years of gradual decline that could have been prevented with a few simple changes. Every time you perform a squat, your body coordinates multiple muscle groups and joints to lower you down and bring you back up. When done correctly, this movement strengthens your legs, improves balance, and keeps your joints healthy. But when you squat with poor form, that coordination begins to break down and the strain shifts to areas that are not built to handle it. Over time, this creates small but consistent damage that you cannot see or feel immediately, yet it slowly erodes your strength. One of the first changes happens in your knees. When your knees travel too far forward, past your toes, the load on your patellar tendon and cartilage increases dramatically. That extra pressure causes microtrauma to the tissues around your kneecap. These tiny injuries do not heal completely between workouts, especially after 60 when recovery is naturally slower. As the damage accumulates, you start to notice stiffness when standing up or a dull ache after walking long distances. This is not just soreness from exercise, it is the early sign of wear that could limit your mobility in the years ahead. Your hips and lower back are also at risk. If your ankles are stiff or your stance is too narrow, your hips rotate awkwardly to compensate. That rotation pulls on the muscles and ligaments supporting your spine. The result is a slow increase in joint instability that affects not just your squat, but your everyday movements like bending, climbing stairs, or getting out of a chair. Over time, your spine experiences more compression, and the muscles that should protect it become weaker because they are not being activated properly. The most overlooked consequence is the imbalance between your front and back leg muscles. Poor squat form often overloads the quadriceps while neglecting the glutes and hamstrings. This imbalance is a major contributor to muscle loss and instability because your body relies on the entire posterior chain to stay upright and balanced. Without strong glutes and hamstrings, your risk of falls and serious injury increases sharply. Inside the muscle fibers, poor form also disrupts the way your nervous system signals movement. When you repeat an incorrect motion often enough, your body learns that flawed pattern. This means even simple activities like standing from a chair start to follow the same damaging mechanics, reinforcing the weakness instead of correcting it. By the time you feel obvious pain, the underlying damage has been building for months or even years. That is why waiting for pain as your warning sign is a mistake. The harm from poor squat form is quiet, gradual, and deeply connected to sarcopenia. Once muscle mass is lost rebuilding, it takes much more effort than maintaining it in the first place. Protecting your joints and muscles now is far easier than repairing them later. When I talk to patients about why form matters so much, I often share the findings from a study at McMaster University in Canada. Researchers there followed a group of older adults for 1 full year, tracking their leg strength, balance, and muscle density. What they found was clear. Those who performed lower body exercises with proper alignment and full muscle engagement preserved far more strength than those using isolated or poorly executed movements. In fact, the group with correct form maintained almost all of their baseline strength, while the other group saw an average decline of more than 15%. One of the most important points the researchers highlighted was that quality of movement was more important than the amount of weight lifted. Even light resistance, when combined with correct body mechanics, triggered muscle activation across the glutes, hamstrings, quads, and core. In contrast, heavier weight paired with poor form led to more joint strain and less total muscle recruitment. This finding supports what many of us in clinical practice have seen for years. The McMaster team also stressed the role of compound exercises in slowing muscle loss. By working multiple muscle groups together, these exercises mimic the demands of real life, such as standing from a chair, walking uphill, or carrying groceries. This type of training not only maintains muscle, but also protects independence, which is one of the most important goals for anyone over 60. The message is simple. It is not just what you do, but how you do it that keeps your legs strong. Many people assume that if they are not feeling sharp pain, their squat form must be fine. Unfortunately, poor form often hides behind small, almost unnoticeable changes in the way your body moves. These early signals are your body's quiet way of warning you that something is off, and catching them now can prevent years of gradual decline. One of the most common signs is stiffness in your knees or hips a few hours after exercise. This is different from normal muscle fatigue. It feels deeper, as if the joint itself is tight. You might notice it when you first stand up from a chair or take your first few steps after sitting for a while. This stiffness means the load is being distributed unevenly, usually because your knees are traveling too far forward or your stance is too narrow. Another red flag is pressure in your lower back during or after squatting. Your lower back should remain stable and supported by your core, but poor form shifts the workload there instead of keeping it in your legs. If your spine rounds forward or your pelvis tilts under at the bottom of the squat, you are placing unnecessary stress on your back. You may also find that your balance feels slightly off when you stand back up. This is often caused by weak glutes and hamstrings not firing properly. Instead of pushing evenly through your whole foot, you might rise up onto your toes or lean forward without realizing it. Over time, this imbalance contributes to sarcopenia by letting key stabilizing muscles weaken while others take on too much work. Watch for changes in everyday movements as well. If getting up from a low chair feels harder or climbing stairs leaves your legs shaky, those are signs your squat is not building the strength you need. Your body does not separate exercise from daily life. The patterns you repeat in your workout carry over into how you move the rest of the day. The bottom line is that your body is always giving feedback. Small aches, shifts in balance, or reduced confidence in your movements are early warnings. Ignoring them allows poor form to keep breaking down muscle instability. Listening to them and making adjustments is the first step toward protecting your legs for the long run. When you were younger, you could push your body hard, feel sore the next day, and be ready to go again in just a couple of days. After 60, that recovery window naturally becomes longer. Your muscles repair at a slower pace, your joints take more time to recover from stress, and your energy reserves are not as quick to refill. This is part of the normal aging process, but it also means that every training decision you make has a bigger impact on your long-term strength. One key reason for slower recovery is the decline in muscle protein synthesis. This is your body's ability to rebuild muscle fibers after they are broken down during exercise. As the years pass, that process becomes less efficient, which makes you more vulnerable to muscle loss if your training plan includes movements that cause more damage than benefit. A squat with poor form, for example, creates strain in the joints and stress in the wrong muscle groups. Instead of stimulating balanced muscle growth, it leaves you with soreness in the wrong places and very little improvement in functional strength. Your connective tissues also change with age. Tendons and ligaments lose some of their elasticity, meaning they do not absorb shock or adapt to stress as easily as they used to. If your squat technique sends excessive force into your knees or lower back, those tissues wear down more quickly. This is why even mild discomfort after exercise should not be ignored. In younger years, your body could tolerate repeated mistakes in form. After 60, those mistakes compound faster and recovery struggles to keep pace. Hormonal changes also play a role. Growth hormone and testosterone, which both contribute to muscle repair, decline steadily with age. This makes your muscles more sensitive to overuse and your joints more prone to inflammation. If you combine these natural changes with a repetitive movement pattern that works against your body's mechanics, you accelerate the decline instead of slowing it down. The good news is that recovery can still be improved with the right approach. Choosing safe, functional movements, getting enough protein in your diet, and allowing adequate rest between strength sessions will help your body heal more completely. Protecting your recovery is not about doing less. It is about doing the right thing so your body can respond the way you want it to. If you want to keep your legs strong and steady after 60, the best thing you can do is replace harmful movements with exercises that build balanced strength without putting unnecessary strain on your joints. These alternatives work your muscles the way you actually use them in daily life, which means you are training for real-world strength and stability, not just gym performance. They also protect you from the gradual joint wear and muscle loss that poorly executed squats can cause. The first option is the supported chair squat. Stand in front of a sturdy chair with your feet shoulder width apart. Lower yourself slowly until you just touch the chair with your hips, then press through your heels to return to standing. The chair gives you a safety net so you can focus on form without fear of falling. Keep your knees aligned with your toes, your chest lifted, and your core engaged. This movement strengthens your glutes, quads, and hamstrings together exactly as they work in daily activities, like getting out of a seat. The second option is the step up. Find a low stable platform or the bottom step of a staircase. Step up with one foot, press through your heel, and bring the other foot up to meet it. Step back down in control and repeat, switching the leading leg halfway through. Step-ups train each leg independently, which helps correct imbalances and improve coordination. They also strengthen the glutes and hamstrings while engaging your core, making them a great choice for maintaining balance and reducing fall risk. The third option is the wall sit with heel lift. Stand with your back against a wall and slide down until your knees are bent at a comfortable angle no deeper than 90 degrees. Hold this position while slowly lifting your heels and lowering them back down. The wall sit builds endurance in your quads and glutes, while the heel lift works your calves and improves ankle mobility. This combination helps protect your knees and gives you the stability you need for walking and climbing stairs. Each of these exercises can be done at home without special equipment, and each can be adjusted to your comfort level. The key is slow, controlled movement and proper alignment. These are the qualities that trigger your muscles to grow stronger without overloading your joints. By making these small but deliberate changes, you not only avoid the damage caused by poor squatting form, but also create a foundation for lasting mobility and independence. Your legs are not just for exercise, they are the base for everything you do, and keeping them strong is one of the best investments you can make in your health. Your legs are not just for walking. They are the pillars that carry you through every moment of your day, from the first step in the morning to the last before bed. After 60, keeping them strong is not about vanity or pushing yourself to extremes. It is about protecting your freedom and independence. A well-done squat can still be one of the best exercises for your lower body, but a poorly executed one can quietly take away the very strength you are trying to build. If you have noticed stiffness in your knees, pressure in your lower back, or a drop in your balance, your body may be telling you it is time to adjust. Shifting to safer functional movements like supported chair squats, step-ups, and wall sits with heel lifts can give you the benefits of strength training without the hidden damage. These movements train multiple muscles at once, helping you slow sarcopenia and keep your legs ready for everyday life. Strength is not only measured by the weight you can lift, but by the ease with which you live your life. It is climbing stairs without hesitation, standing from a chair without struggle, and walking with steady confidence. You deserve to feel that every single day. If what you heard today made you rethink the way you train, I would love to hear your story. Have you been doing squats or other leg exercises that might be harming more than helping? Have you found safer alternatives that work for you? Share your experience in the comments below, because your story could help someone else protect their strength. And if you want more clear science-backed guidance on keeping your body strong after 60, hit the subscribe button now. Your future self will thank you.